Welcome back. I've just had a bit of an accident. I've just brought the clamp for the ring light. I was going to go live, but well, it wasn't meant to be. So I think I need to buy a new clamp part for to hold my phone. But never mind, I'm going to do this simple painting today. This is a nice landscape with some hills and all that sort of thing going on, so it's something that I really do enjoy to paint. I do enjoy painting these, and I'm going to try and keep it as simple as possible for you while I do so. So I just started off with a bit of Payne's Grey, and obviously you can see I've got my Hake brush, and I'm just adding in a little bit of warmth in that colour. So I'm using a bit of yellow ochre. Oh, and by the way, I'm terrible at letting you know what paper I'm using and materials. This is the £140 rough paper, which is Fabriano Artistico, which is a really nice paper. I do enjoy using this paper. And so let me just want to take out some bits of pigment towards the bottom, towards the hills. So you got this nice sort of glow coming through. And you'll see how that sort of all that sort of comes out once I add some more colours. So I'm just going to switch to a slightly smaller brush. I want a few things happening in the sky, so let's grab a little bit of that French ultramarine. Bit of French ultramarine, and just add in not too much. I want a simple sky going on today. I just can't believe I've just broke my ring light, which is quite annoying. So I'm going to have to sort that out so I can go live again. Honestly, if it doesn't rain, it pours. By the way, it is raining today. And so I thought it would be nice to do a video, do a live, but that's not meant to be. So I'm just adding, this is the distant hill. I want sort of, I have just added sap green, but I want a bit of blue in there as well because it is in the distance. And I want this to sit back as much as possible with these other hills in front. So I wanted to capture a bit of a path leading into the scene, so I thought that'd be quite nice. And I'm just gonna skip around the hills in front of the distant hill, and let me see if I can just take out a little bit of pigment here and there. It just gives it a little bit more form and a bit more interest as well. So I'm just using the same brush, washing it out, and then just taking just little bits of pigment out. So it just gives a little bit of shape and a little bit of interest at the same time. It does look a bit straight, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to leave that sort of first one to dry, and then I can add some darker tones and some detail on the other hills as well. So I just want to go in with some dark colour going into these. I'm thinking like some of the hills near where I live. You got some rocky sort of hills, and so I want that to be what I'm doing here. I will add some darker tones to that. Now let's go for some yellow ochre underneath. I do like doing that. If you've seen my channel before, if you've seen my paintings before, I do like to sort of change colour while I'm putting a wash down, and that just gets things nice and interesting. So that's what I'm doing here. You don't have to wait for things to dry necessarily. Obviously you get a solid line if you do let that dry. And then just a bit of yellow ochre I'm going to go for this side here. It's a nice big hill. And this is inspired by the surroundings where I live. You get lots of these sort of areas, nice rugged landscapes. We got the Peak District not too far. You got the Lake District a bit further, and then you got some areas in Wales and Scotland. So these sort of scenes are just everywhere around there. So we don't have to go far to find these landscape scenes. So it's taking inspiration from that. Oh, we do have a few country parks here as well. Trying to think of the name. It will come to me, but I just can't think of it offhand. Dovestones, that's the one. We've got Dovestones that's not too far from here, and so we can find all this sort of thing as well, which is probably a 10-minute drive from us. So I do intend on taking you with me and showing you around there. Really nice place. You've got a big reservoir and lots of hills, and so I'm definitely gonna venture out at some point and take you with me, show you around there. So can you see I'm not really just letting the colours melt into each other, nice and soft really, and we can start adding bits of colour here and there. I want a bit of red. This is just cad red. You can use any sort of red. So I don't want it too vibrant or too saturated. I'm just going to let that mix with the sap green mostly already on the paper. And now I can start adding some various different brown, Van Dyke brown, neutral tint. Let's get some dark sort of things on this hill. You can see I'm just moving different directions just to give the hill its form. So that's quite nice. And then I think I'll come right down with this one. So it looks, so it's continuing on and there's a nice flow to it. So there we go. And maybe on this side, maybe a bit lighter. So it gives a little bit of light to the scene as well. Maybe the light's coming from the left hand side. And I want this nice and loose. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a regular and you're watching this and you've seen my videos before, then welcome back. Don't forget to hit that like, and if you're not subscribed, then please do subscribe to my channel. You can see many sort of paintings like this on my channel. I do love to paint off the cuff, just make these scenes up as I do, and just see what happens. I like it because it just gives you that bit of freedom. You know, you're not a slave to an image. You can paint with a reference in mind, or you can just go ahead and paint like I do. But I do want this nice and loose, just a simple landscape scene. So just a bit of sap green now as we come down the hill. So I want to add this while it's still wet. I did pause the video a second, then I want it to dry, but I think I'll carry on while it's wet, and you can see what's going on here. So I'm just pulling in some colour and trying to keep things nice and flowing and nice and I guess consistent through the scene. But there we go. So I'm happy with that for my first wash. I think I'll leave that there to dry. And then, like I said, I've got a path. I do have a path, and I'm thinking there's a couple of walls sort of leading your eye into the scene. It's one of those sort of country walks, I'm thinking. And so let that dry, and then we'll see what I can add as it's dry. As well as the coverage that you can get using the Hake brush, I really like the way it's really quite versatile as well. Using it now just on its side to add some foliage to some trees, just to put in the foreground. And now I'm using my liner brush just to add some branches and some tree trunks to those. But yeah, I really do enjoy using the Hake brush for different reasons. I do have two different sizes. And then I'm just dipping back into my mop brush, which I am a fan of as well. They do hold plenty of water, so it gives nice coverage as well if you want to sort of work loosely and not fiddle around with too much detail. Then these brushes are perfect for that. I tend to use the same sort of brushes every time I paint. I've got into a sort of routine, and I guess there's nothing wrong with that when you're familiar with your materials. It's good to learn them and know what each sort of brush or whatever you use. It's good to know what they do and what they're capable of, and then it's like using that to your advantage. So just add in some rocks here. I couldn't find my scraper tool, so I had to use the piece that I've broken off my ring light, the clamp. I used that instead. But all's good, as long as it's got a surface that you can use to scratch off scrape the paint, and you can get these nice rocks in the foreground, and that's just helping to give some texture and lead the eye into the scene. So like I said, it's quite a familiar scene. I know it's made up, and just wanted to do this nice and simple and loose. I'm quite familiar with painting hills and that sort of thing, so it's in my comfort zone, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I hope this is useful. I hope you find this, if it's inspiring you, then it's all good. So I hope it helps. I hope you like this one, and I do appreciate your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.